What's up, Travel Tribe? Welcome back. Thanks so much for coming back to chat with Travelinista. And today I'm going to be coming to you guys with some of the craziest things that I have done on vacation. Now, it's interesting that I'm going to share with you guys crazy things that I've done because I like to say that I'm a very chill, reserved, thoughtful type of person, right? However, some of these things that I'm going to share with you guys, I really don't know how I arrived to saying yes to these. All right, so let's just get into it. Number one on the list, we have a trip that I took to Costa Rica. I believe this may have been 2021, 2022, and it was a group trip. So I had all of my friends and family with me, and we decided to do an excursion. But this was like an outdoorsy sports type of excursion where you actually do, what is it called? Zip lining. So we're supposed to be zip lining, and the guy just kept saying, oh, there's a surprise at the end. There's a surprise at the end. And so in my mind, I'm just like, I mean, what is he about to offer some kind of like token of appreciation? Like, are we going to get a gift? You know, I'm not thinking it's a physical surprise. So we get to the end of the zip line and the obstacle course, and we just keep climbing higher and higher, but I don't see a zip line. Obviously, a zip line goes straight across. And so we're all looking for a zip line. There's not one in sight. So we reach the top, and there's this little mechanism that is a rope, essentially. But it's a mechanism, but it's a rope. So I'm like, okay, what are we doing with this rope? And to my surprise, the guy demonstrates that you're going to put your hands around this rope, and you are going to swing like you're Tarzan from one side of this very shaky pedestal, if I must say so myself, to another side in thin air, and you're going to swing back and forth. And the drop was insane. At that point, I had like maybe like 6 people that had done all the rest of the obstacle course with me. All of them was like, no, I'm not doing it. I literally had 2 other people out of the 6 or 7 of us that said, okay, let's try it. The smart person in me really wanted to walk away. But then the thug in me was like, you gonna let them outshine you on your own trip? And so I had to do it. So enjoy this footage behind me of where I am screaming to the top of my lungs. If you have ever been the type of person that likes to bungee jump, I would say this is probably the closest that I'll ever get to it. Maybe even jumping out of a plane. I do not intend to do those things, but the feeling that I got when jumping down off this very high pedestal, it wasn't even a stomach drop. It was like a heart drop. I felt like y'all wasn't gonna see me, but here we are, luckily. All right, number 2 on that list, we have me playing Crocodile Dundee in Belize. Now, I must be honest with you guys and say that I was a little under the influence, which makes me a little more courageous, okay? Because I literally had to walk on, I guess you would call this like a marina. Yeah, it was a marina, and you know those little bridges that they have on marinas, and they literally tell you not to get close to the edge of the water. And this is when I knew that I was tripping, because I was very close to the edge of the marina. There was no kind of roping around the marina, and there was a crocodile or 2 sighting. And instead of me just taking a picture, going on about my business, I was super duper close to the edge, and then the crocodile started to come very close to the edge that I was at, and I'm just sitting here laughing until he opened his mouth, okay? But I was still standing there when he opened his mouth. I'm going to try to dig up that footage for you guys. I don't know if I have it still, but if I do have it, it'll truly be a treat for you guys to see. Alrighty, next up on that list, I'm going to take you guys to Thailand. All right, we're going to go to Asia, where I decided to go to a tiger pen. That's what I'll call it, a tiger pen. And in this tiger pen, they say they don't drug the animals. They say the animals are truly in their natural habitat, which obviously isn't the truth. But they say they're treated as much as possible as though they're in their natural habitat, so they're not being drugged, they're not being abused. And so I decided to buy tickets, literally pay for me to enter inside of a pen full of full-grown tigers, okay? To my defense, I wasn't the only one. There was a lot of people that thought this was a cool idea. However, we go in, everything seems all cool and dandy. I believe we had 2 different tickets. So one granted us access with tigers that were adult tigers, and then one granted us access with a baby tiger, which was supposed to be a really big to-do because they don't always have baby tigers available. So we go into the baby tiger pit. Oh, it's so cool. It's so nice. You know, baby tiger, no big deal. We went inside the big tiger pen. My head was on a swivel, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The hairs on the back of my neck were standing. It was not a good feeling. And I'm the kind of person that I go off of vibes and I go off of feelings. So I technically should have walked out of the pen. But no, I have to get a picture for you guys, right? Y'all want to see it. So I have to get a picture. I have to get video. I have to touch it. And with all of that happening, I'm literally watching a tiger from the other side of the pen get closer and closer and closer. So at that point, I left. Now, here's the good part. As I am leaving out of this tiger pen, well, first, they have these rules and a waiver, of course, for you to sign that if you get bit and you die, you get bit and you die. But aside from that, there are rules, and they say don't, touch them in a certain kind of way. Make sure you're kind of like always in front of them. Don't make any sudden movements. Definitely don't run. It's like the main rule. And so as we're leaving out of here, I just start to hear all this ruckus and commotion and humans screaming and tigers roaring, and it's like people flying around the attraction. And so my head is on swivel because I'm like, did a tiger get loose? But actually what happened was a tiger in a completely different pen, it was like 3 or 4 of them, they were getting in a fight, and people were inside of the pen while the tigers were getting in a fight, and they were running. And so tigers were like running. I don't know what happened because I didn't stay to see, but this is a real true story. So again, technically lost my mind because who would actually sign up to go inside of a pen with tigers that aren't drugged, that have all their teeth that could bite you? Guess it was me. All right, so now moving on. Next up on the list, we have the time where I went to Marrakesh, which wasn't that long ago. So if you haven't watched the video, then you should watch it. If this is news to you, that means you haven't watched the video, so go and watch it. However, went to Marrakesh in May, and another excursion because I like to be adventurous at my big age because I'm getting old, so I don't know when the adventure is going to cease. But anyway, wanted to be adventurous, get to the place. We're thinking it's just zip lining, and then it's another surprise. Oh, you have to go across this bridge in order to get to the zip line. That kind of seemed like a setup, but we'll save that for another day. So we're like, okay, well, what's the bridge? Because in my mind, a bridge is a bridge, right? Wrong. This bridge is cables and planks, and may I add, makeshift cables and planks. I don't even know how they got out there. Do you guys see this footage behind me? How do you think they got out there to hang those cables? More importantly, what do you think they used to hang them with? This isn't the United States. They don't have all the same tools that we have here. So what are these cables even made out of? What are the chances that they're going to snap? We don't know now, do we? But yet and still, I find myself deciding to trot across them. And it's really funny because these are the things that my mom tells me not to do when I go on vacation. And here I am doing it anyway. So As you can see in the footage, we were suspended super duper duper high in the air between these mountains on this makeshift bridge where every time you took a step, it felt like you were about to plummet to your death. I know, very morbid, but true. So I literally had to exercise the inner counselor in me, use real coping mechanisms for anxiety because it was the scariest thing that I have done in a very long time. I think it was even scarier than the lions. Doesn't make sense, does it? But it was. All right, last on the list, as if tigers wasn't enough, taking you all to South Africa when I decided to see lions. And this was at the dope Kruger Park. Not sure if you guys have heard of it. If you go to South Africa, definitely check Kruger Park out. They offer safari rides, safari tours, super cool, dope attraction. But anywho, I decided that I wanted some pictures and some video for you guys, okay? So I decided to sign up to actually be in the pen with the cubs. Now, cubs, babies, not full-grown lion, like from Lion King. However, still dangerous nonetheless. They still have teeth. I'm not in their family. I'm not an animal. They don't know me. But regardless, I got in there with them. This was a bit scary because as I'm posing for the pictures and you guys can see the footage behind me, what you don't see is that the cub was kind of hitting me on my back, like clawing at me on my back. And didn't get scratched or anything like that, but definitely was a little scary, just a smidge. And then you have these trainers that actually decide to do this for a living. I don't know why, but they do. And so they're laughing. And in my head, I'm like, okay, you guys are calm, you guys are laughing, but what happens if one of these claws actually scratches me? Probably nothing because I signed the waiver, right? I said it doesn't matter. All right, anyway, so moving past the cubs, I survived the cubs, it's okay. We moved to the actual safari part where we are in a caged vehicle. So that means if I put my fingers out or, you know, something like that, it can get bitten. So we're moseying our way through safari. I'm like, oh, where's the lions? Where are the lions? And we finally get on a lion sighting. We have a lion sighting. And these lions are actually asleep at the time. So the interesting part is that the safari tour guide pulls real close up on them, which I don't think we probably should have done. He cuts the engine off. So when he cuts the engine off, I'm like, are we staying here? What's happening? So it's like, yeah, we're just gonna stay here for a bit. Papa Lion gets up. He can sense that we're there. Now this lion, take a look at it. Take a real good look at it. Full-blown grown lion, okay? Main, big Lion King vibes. He walks over, he's like circling the little cage Jeep, scoping us out. So I'm like, okay, sir, I think we're good. No. He stays there, he's laughing at this point. Lion comes up to my side of the cage, lets out this real nasty roar. Now, it's several of us in this vehicle. Why did he have to come to my side and bother me? I'm minding my business. I actually was trying to tell them to leave so that we can let Mr. Lion sleep. But no, he comes to my side. He roars. I'm like, sir, turn the car back on. He's not turning the car back on. At this point, if I put my hand into the little hole, I'm going to be touching Mr. Lion's mane. Car still sitting there. He's still roaring. It's very scary. The roar literally made me shake. Like it felt like the whole ground was shaking. I'm probably making that up, but that's how it felt. It felt like when he roared, it felt like my whole body, everything was just shaking. And then he decided to pee on me. So he was marking his territory. I literally have the same boots. I'm not going to throw them away. I don't know what the significance is. Guess it's just proof that I got urinated on by a lion. Guess he liked me just that much. However, I still have the boot that got urinated on. And then at that point, I'm screaming at the driver like he wants to eat me. Let's go. So that's the time that I went to Kruger Park and I was in South Africa and had a nice little date with Mr. Lion that I didn't necessarily sign up for. So there you have it, guys. A quick and dirty list of the craziest things that I have done on vacation. There is so much more of the world to see, so who knows? I'm pretty sure I'll be coming back to you guys with this same kind of list later down the road with even crazier things going on the list. However, I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thanks so much for coming back to Chat with Travelinista. If you've done any crazy things or you have any suggestions, you want to challenge me to some crazy things to do while I'm abroad, drop them down below. Until next time, take care.